Hollywood, where stars shine brightly, is not without its dark side. Despite their exceptional talent, many stars have faced bans from the entertainment industry for controversial reasons and even unacceptable actions. From sex scandals to unethical behavior, or even decisions that seriously damage their image, these actors have paid the price for their mistakes in their careers. Let's explore the stories of 15 famous actors who were banned from Hollywood and the reasons behind these shocking decisions. Are you surprised by these stories? If so, leave the number 1, if not comment, the number 0. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next interesting videos. Thank you for watching. Mo'Nique is a Hollywood superstar with a natural talent that has blossomed from stand-up comedy to film. In 2009, she captured the hearts of audiences with her role in Precious, a haunting and heartbreaking role that earned her the prestigious Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Mo'Nique instantly became a sought-after name, a star that studios craved. However, the Oscar that was supposed to be a stepping stone to her career became the beginning of an unexpected exile. After Precious, Mo'Nique revealed that she was asked to lobby for the film without any compensation to attend events and smile for the cameras, while the studios profited from her success. When she refused to play that game, Mo'Nique was labeled difficult, ungrateful, and unworkable. Hollywood didn't punish her publicly, but quietly wrote her off. Casting calls suddenly stopped, and the girl who had stood on the Oscar stage was no longer allowed to appear in front of the camera. Mo'Nique herself called it a blacklist. She accused industry heavyweights like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels of contributing to her downfall. The truth she revealed came at a high cost, not just in lost work, but also in the relationships she had built over the course of her career. One of the most talented actresses of her generation became a cautionary tale about Hollywood's hidden rules. Megan Fox is in the eyes of her fans an untouchable icon, a shining star with the world at her feet. But Hollywood is not patient with challenges. In 2009, at the height of her fame, Fox shocked the film industry with a controversial interview. When asked about director Michael Bay, she publicly criticized him, comparing Bay to a dictator like Hitler and denouncing his harsh control on set. These words immediately spread across the media and caused a wave of anger. Michael Bay's supporters reacted strongly. Steven Spielberg was also said to have asked to remove Fox from the famous Transformers series. Overnight, Megan Fox went from being the female lead in one of the biggest blockbuster movie series to being removed from the next installment without any explanation. What followed was a terrifying silence. The calls and acting offers began to dwindle. The scripts she received no longer had the same prestige as before. Despite her talent and charisma, she was labeled difficult and unprofessional and was gradually removed from major projects. Fox later revealed that she had suffered terrible treatment in Hollywood, where the disrespect and exploitation of actors is a daily occurrence. She believes that speaking out was what led to her career derailing. Megan Fox's story is not just about a shocking statement, but about the vulnerability of a star when challenging power. In an industry that values image and obedience, a single statement can end a career no matter how brilliant you once were. In the 1980s, Mickey Rourke was not just a star, but a phenomenon. With his captivating looks and outstanding acting talent in films like 9½ Weeks and Angel Heart, he was seen as a worthy successor to Brando and De Niro. Hollywood adored him and critics showered him with praise. Mickey Rourke not only captivated audiences with his charm, but also kept them glued to the screen. During that period, he was one of Hollywood's brightest stars, considered to be on track to become one of the greatest actors of his generation. However, it was his rebellious and unconventional nature that led to the downfall of his career. Rourke became infamous for being uncontrollable, frequently clashing with directors, abandoning projects, and openly disrespecting the very industry that had made him famous. He earned the label uncontrollable, a nightmare for producers. Those who only wanted to work with stars who were profitable and reliable. The event that shocked Hollywood was when Rourke decided to leave his acting career behind to pursue professional boxing. This decision stunned both fans and the industry. However, for Hollywood, it marked the end. His years in the ring not only left physical scars, but also shattered his acting career. When he returned to the film industry in the 1990s, Hollywood no longer showed the same interest in him. The handsome face he once had is now marked by scars and plastic surgery. The studios that once chased him had now turned their backs. The golden era of Mickey Rourke was over. It wasn't until 2008, after diving into the world of professional wrestling, that Mickey Rourke got the chance to return and was nominated for an Oscar. However, his story is a clear testament to what happens when a star chooses to follow their own path and refuses to adhere to the harsh rules of Hollywood. In the late 1990s, Rose McGowan was an up-and-coming star with impressive breakthroughs in Scream Jawbreaker and a memorable role in Charmed. She embodied sophistication and allure, possessing striking beauty and a large fan base. Hollywood seemed open at the time, ready to turn her into an enduring star. However, behind the glitz and glamour, McGowan had to fight a battle few saw. She was one of the first actresses to speak out against Harvey Weinstein, accusing him of sexual harassment. Before the Me Too movement became a global wave, McGowan spoke out about the truth. And when she chose not to remain silent, Hollywood turned its back on her. The roles that once came her way suddenly vanished, and she was portrayed as hot-tempered and difficult to work with. The industry that once embraced her now treated her like an outcast. McGowan revealed that the retaliation ran deep, as powerful figures in Hollywood blacklisted her, spreading rumors that severely damaged her reputation. Casting directors stopped reaching out, and the doors of Hollywood slowly closed on her. Not because of a lack of talent, but because she dared to expose the truth about a predator protected by the system. While the world later recognized McGowan's courage, Hollywood never truly reopened its doors to her. Her story is not just about exile, but also sacrifice. By speaking out, she gave up the career, fame, and future Hollywood had once promised her. However, in the eyes of many, Rose McGowan has become a symbol of defiance, a testament to the price one pays for daring to confront the darkest corners of the entertainment industry. Sinéad O'Connor was never an ordinary star. With her shaved head, powerful voice, and unapologetic honesty, she became the center of attention in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Her cover of Nothing Compares to You became a global phenomenon, solidifying her position as one of the most unique artists of her generation. For a moment, she was not just a singer, but a cultural icon. However, Sinéad O'Connor never followed the rules of the industry. In 1992, during a live performance on Saturday Night Live, she shocked the world when she tore up a photo of Pope John Paul II, accompanied by the statement, "Fight the real enemy." This act was a protest against the abuse within the Catholic Church, a bold demonstration before the full extent of the scandal was exposed to the public. The reaction from the public was immediate and brutal. The studio audience fell silent, the media vilified her, and Hollywood turned its back on Sinéad. Within days, she was blacklisted and banned from appearing on television. What should have been remembered as an act of courage became a stain on her career. Concerts were boycotted, radio stations banned her songs, and opportunities in both film and music quickly vanished. Despite continuing to compose and perform, Sinead O'Connor never regained her place on the mainstream stage as she once had. Her story serves as a reminder of how Hollywood and the entertainment industry can swiftly erase those who refuse to conform, even those who have made significant contributions. She wasn't destroyed by a typical scandal, but by a rebellion too powerful for a world that wasn't ready to accept the truth. If you want to learn more about other stars who were exiled by Hollywood, don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button so you won't miss out on the fascinating stories coming up. Behind every shining star, there is always a story that Hollywood hopes you'll never know. Share this video with your friends to discuss the truth within the film industry and the power of public perception. In the 1990s, Wesley Snipes was one of Hollywood's biggest action stars. With hit films like New Jack City, White Men Can't Jump, and the Blade trilogy, he quickly became a box office icon, particularly for fans of action movies. Not only was he an action hero, but Snipes was also one of the few black actors leading major film projects, proving his ability to stand strong in high-budget films. However, just as his career was at its peak, Wesley Snipes faced an unexpected challenge, a tax evasion lawsuit with the Internal Revenue Service, IRS. In 2008, he was convicted for failing to report millions of dollars in income during the height of his career. This trial shocked the film industry, turning Snipes from an international star into a cautionary tale for other celebrities. With a 3-year prison sentence, his career came to a complete halt, and he stepped away from the spotlight for a long time. After his release, the film industry had changed significantly. Film studios were hesitant to hand Snipes leading roles again, and he became a figure with a tarnished reputation labeled as a financial risk. Although he made attempts to return with roles in films like The Expendables, Snipes never regained the A-list status he once had. Not only because of the tax evasion scandal, but also due to his defiance against the power structures in Hollywood, where stars are bound by unspoken rules and financial relationships. Snipes hinted that his downfall was not solely due to personal mistakes, but also a struggle against a system that had no place for strong, independent personalities like his. Charlie Sheen was once one of Hollywood's biggest stars, standing out with films like Platoon and Wall Street in the 1980s. He continued to achieve massive success, with 2.5 Men becoming the highest-paid actor on television, earning nearly $2 million per episode by the late 2000s. Sheen was beloved for his charm, humor, and flashy lifestyle, becoming a symbol of commercial success. With his career at its peak and a solid position in the industry, Sheen seemed untouchable, always a surefire face for success and one of the most sought-after names in Hollywood. However, beneath the humor and dazzling success, Sheen's life began to spiral into chaos. Personal crises, substance abuse, and public disputes with producers became hot topics in the media. The tipping point came in 2011, when Warner Brothers decided to fire Sheen from 2.5 Men, ending his most lucrative role. This sudden fall from grace turned Sheen, once the highest-paid actor on television, into an unemployed figure overnight. Film studios began to hesitate, seeing him as a liability too unstable to continue investing in. Although Sheen openly discussed living with HIV and made efforts to change his narrative, the shadow of his scandals continued to haunt him. Sheen's downfall serves as a testament to how Hollywood can erase a star when they cause too much chaos and lose control over their public image. In the early 2000s, Lindsay Lohan was the perfect embodiment of a Hollywood star. From her breakthrough role in The Parent Trap to the success of Mean Girls, she became the face of a new generation of stars. Film studios placed their full trust in her, not only because of her charm, but also because of her comedic talent and broad appeal to audiences of all ages. However, her career began to face challenges as personal issues started to surface. Scandals involving substance abuse and other controversies severely impacted her public image. Though opportunities still came her way, these issues prevented Lohan from maintaining the sustained star power she once had. The stories of the ups and downs in the careers of Snipes, Sheen, and Lohan are not just lessons about fame and career, but also examples of the challenges top stars face when their personal lives affect their professional work. In her 20s, Lindsay Lohan seemed destined to become one of Hollywood's most enduring actresses. However, becoming famous at such a young age came with a heavy price, and for Lohan, that price proved to be extremely costly. Her career began to unravel after a series of shocking arrests, including driving under the influence and entering rehab. Paparazzi relentlessly followed her, turning her struggles into public spectacles, capturing every difficult step as if it were part of a tragic script. By the mid-2000s, Lohan's name was no longer associated with box office hits, but with lawsuits and mugshot photos. For film studios, the issue wasn't just about her public image, but also about trust. Producers found it difficult to trust that she would complete her work, and her reputation became an increasing liability in the industry. Once a star with immense potential, she suddenly became a name that was overlooked. Despite attempts to return with a few roles, Hollywood kept its distance. Lindsay Lohan's story not only reflects self-destruction, but also serves as a testament to how the industry quickly abandons those who can't handle the pressure. She was a prodigy who burned too brightly, and Hollywood chose to discard her more easily than helping her rebuild her career. Mel Gibson was once a Hollywood legend. From Mad Max to Lethal Weapon, he became an international action icon, and as a director, he won an Oscar for Braveheart. For decades, Gibson was not just a star but a key figure in shaping major films. At the peak of his career, he was one of the most commercially valuable faces in the film industry. However, by the mid-2000s, Gibson's career began to collapse almost overnight. In 2006, he was arrested for driving under the influence, and in a shocking incident, he made anti-Semitic remarks that went viral worldwide. The consequences of this incident were truly devastating. Film studios began to turn their backs on him, the public no longer supported him, and Gibson's reputation was completely destroyed. Other scandals, including racist comments and verbal assaults, only further reinforced his negative image. Hollywood is an industry that thrives on image, and Gibson's image had become toxic. He was removed from numerous projects, and for nearly a decade his name was no longer mentioned in casting discussions. Directors and producers admitted that inviting Gibson to join a project would only lead to a career failure. Although Gibson made an impressive comeback with Hacksaw Ridge in 2016 and regained some of his reputation, the scars from this exile could never be erased. Once Hollywood's golden boy, he is now a cautionary tale about how even the most powerful can fall from grace. Hollywood clearly communicated a message: talent may be exceptional, but scandal is far worse. Kevin Spacey was once one of Hollywood's most talented and respected actors. With 2 Oscars for The Usual Suspects and American Beauty, Spacey was not only revered as an actor, but also seen as a cultural figure with significant influence. His transition to television with House of Cards further solidified his strong position, making him one of the biggest stars on the Netflix platform. However, in 2017, everything changed. A series of sexual harassment allegations emerged, spanning over several decades. Starting with a single accusation, more and more allegations quickly followed, with many men accusing Spacey of using his power and influence to assault or threaten them. These scandals led to Spacey being removed from many major projects and cast out of the industry he had dedicated his career to. Although Spacey later attempted to return with roles, the shadow of the accusations continued to haunt him. The media and Hollywood saw him as a liability, and producers no longer trusted him with important roles. Spacey went from being an irreplaceable star to a living example of how even the biggest names can be exiled in this industry when their careers are tainted by scandal. Hollywood was rocked by a major shock when the Me Too movement gained momentum, and Kevin Spacey was one of the stars most significantly affected by it. After multiple sexual harassment accusations, Netflix immediately severed ties with him, removing him from House of Cards. Ridley Scott even reshot Spacey's scenes in All the Money in the World, replacing him with Christopher Plummer just weeks before the film's release. In the blink of an eye, an Oscar-winning star became an outcast in the film industry. No studio dared to risk attaching Kevin Spacey to major projects. Although he denied the allegations and some lawsuits were dismissed, the damage to his reputation was irreparable. Spacey's illustrious career, once built on his talent, is now mostly remembered for the scandals surrounding him. Kevin Spacey's downfall is a testament to Hollywood's ruthless ability to discard stars when they become a burden to the industry. His story is not only about personal misconduct, but also a warning about the speed with which Hollywood can erase a star when the truth, or even just the perception of it, is exposed. Roman Polanski, with legendary films such as Rosemary's Baby, Chinatown, and The Pianist, was once regarded as one of the greatest directors in cinema. His reputation was built on his exquisite cinematic works, celebrated by critics. Hollywood awarded him some of the highest honors, including the Academy Award for Best Director. However, Polanski's reputation was marred by a sexual assault scandal in 1977 when he was accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl. After pleading guilty, Polanski fled the United States and lived in Europe, where he continued making films. But the price of his flight was unavoidable. He was exiled from Hollywood and could no longer set foot in the country he helped shape with his films. While his movies continued to be praised abroad, his career in the U.S. was virtually over. Although the Academy awarded him the Oscar in 2003, Polanski could not attend the ceremony to accept the award. And as the Me Too movement gained momentum, the situation worsened. In 2018, Polanski was expelled from the Academy, officially severing his ties with the organization that had once honored him. Polanski's story remains one of the most controversial in Hollywood history, serving as a stark reminder of the divide between artistic talent and moral responsibility in the industry. In the 1980s, Kirk Cameron was one of the most beloved young stars on television. In the hit sitcom Growing Pains, he became the charming teen heartthrob in the eyes of audiences. From popular magazines to thousands of fans filling stadiums just to see him, Cameron's career seemed destined for long-term success, transitioning from television to film. However, his career took an unexpected turn when, in his late teens, Cameron underwent a profound religious conversion. With his newfound faith, he began to turn down film scripts with mature themes or stories that didn't align with his Christian beliefs. This decision had a significant impact on his career, causing him to step away from major Hollywood projects he once would have taken on. Kirk Cameron became an example of a career shift where personal faith can sometimes completely alter the course of one's professional journey. While he may have missed many big opportunities, he continued to pursue projects that were in line with his beliefs. Cameron's story is not only about a career shift, but also a reminder of the flexibility needed to pursue personal passion and beliefs. Scripts were rewritten, co-stars complained about his behavior, and producers found it increasingly difficult to work with him. Hollywood, an industry built on compromise, quickly became wary of a star unwilling to bend. As the challenges of growing up ended, Cameron found that the doors he expected to open had quietly closed. He found himself almost blacklisted from mainstream film projects. In the 2010s, CeeLo Green was not only a singer but also a cultural icon. His hit song, "Forget You," made him a household name, and his bold, strong image brought him to audiences worldwide. He also became a prominent figure on NBC's The Voice. Everything seemed unstoppable in his career. However, in 2012, CeeLo Green's career came to a halt when he was accused of sexual assault. Although he denied the allegations, his controversial comments, including a tweet suggesting that sex without memory doesn't equate to rape, sparked public outrage. Within days, he was forced to leave The Voice, and major television networks gradually turned their backs on him. Hollywood, an industry always sensitive to public opinion, quickly ostracized him. Concerts were canceled, advertising contracts vanished, and television opportunities disappeared. Although he continued to release music, CeeLo's mainstream career never recovered. His downfall wasn't due to fading talent, but rather the consequences of his controversial remarks and personal scandals. CeeLo Green's story serves as a reminder that in an era where image is a valuable asset, a single controversial moment can destroy an entire career. In the 1990s, Winona Ryder was a Hollywood icon. With films like Heather's Edward Scissorhands and Girl Interrupted, she became a beloved and admired star known for her captivating looks and talented performances. However, in 2001, her career took a massive hit when she was caught stealing over $5,000 worth of merchandise from Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills. The incident became a media spectacle, and Ryder's image was harshly boycotted. In Hollywood, where image is everything, they didn't hesitate to turn their back on her. Ryder's roles quickly dried up, and she was relegated to small, lesser-known projects. Her name was no longer associated with talent, but with scandal. Winona Ryder's story is an example of how Hollywood handles personal controversies and how a star can be exiled when their image is tarnished. However, in the mid-2010s, Winona Ryder made a stunning comeback with Stranger Things on Netflix, proving that talent, even when forgotten, can shine again. Ryder's story is not one of violence or politics, but of a single act that forever changed her image. Hollywood, with its special reverence for public perception, learned a valuable lesson about how a beloved star can be instantly erased when their flaws are exposed. Her journey from downfall to a strong comeback remains one of the most haunting tales in modern cinema. In the mid-1990s, Mira Sorvino was a rising star in Hollywood. After winning an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for Mighty Aphrodite, she quickly joined the ranks of A-list stars in the film industry. Her talent and beauty made her one of the most promising actresses of her generation. However, Sorvino's career quickly declined, and the reason wasn't a lack of talent, but a decision to reject Harvey Weinstein. She accused Weinstein of sexually harassing her, and when she rejected him, she was removed from major projects. Weinstein, wielding his power, exploited his influence to push Sorvino out of Hollywood films. It wasn't until the Tucker Me Too movement gained momentum that the truth was revealed. Mira Sorvino's story is not only about potential wasted, but also about the ruthlessness of Hollywood, where power can silence an actress and turn her into a non-entity in an industry she had once conquered. Although Sorvino continued acting, the peak years of her career were unjustly taken away. The stories of stars blacklisted in Hollywood serve as lessons in power, image, and silence within the industry. Even after reaching the height of success, a single mistake, a decision against the norm, or an act of rebellion can cost them everything. Hollywood doesn't just take away their glory, it erases their name when they fail to meet invisible expectations. So were they truly deserving of punishment, or were they simply victims of this controlling system? Are they individuals judged too harshly, or are they warriors standing against a glamorous Hollywood? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to discover more shocking stories about Hollywood that few know, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next videos. Thank you for watching and always being with us. Hollywood may shut down these stars, but those who love them will always remember.